Hello, check. Well, we are all just about ready and about to start in couple of minutes. Requesting everyone, if we could please settle down at the earliest. Well, a special request to all those gentlemen outside, if we could all come in and settle down. Requesting all members of the press to please settle down. Well, now, namaskar. Wishing everyone a wonderful afternoon. Well, on behalf of Apollo Multispecialty Hospitals, Kolkata, I would like to welcome all dignitaries and members of the press to this very significant afternoon, where Apollo Hospitals, Kolkata takes a giant leap towards bringing the immense possibilities of 5G network towards rendering timely critical care services through the 5G connected ambulance to reduce mortality and utilize the golden hour to the benefit of the patients, thus saving more lives. Well, treatment, as we can see, treatment can be started immediately inside the ambulance itself, while senior doctors monitor the patient and provide medical advice to paramedics inside the ambulance. Well, the all-new 5G connected ambulance is a testament to Apollo Hospital's commitment to harness technology in healthcare for the benefits of critically ill patients. Well, now before we move on and share more insights on the 5G connected ambulance, I would like to invite, with a big round of applause, Dr. K. Hari Prasad, President Hospitals Division, Apollo Hospitals Group, to the dais, please. Well, with another round of applause, I would like to invite on the dais Mr. Rana Das Gupta, CEO, Eastern Region, Apollo Hospitals. With another round of applause, I would like to invite on the dais Dr. Surinder Singh Bhatia, Director, Medical Services, Apollo Multispecialty Hospitals, Kolkata. And last but not the least, with another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome on the dais Dr. Arijit Bose, Senior Consultant and Head Department of Emergency Medicine, Apollo Multispecialty Hospitals. Now, I would request all our dignitaries on stage, if we could please gather around the ceremonial lamp. And I think that's a hint for all our friends from the press to be ready with the cameras. And I would request our dignitaries to light the ceremonial lamp to officially inaugurate this very significant afternoon, where we all have gathered to witness yet another important milestone by Apollo Hospitals, Kolkata, towards rendering more timely emergency medical services. And I would like to humbly request to all our friends from the press, if you're not holding the camera while we light the ceremonial lamp, we'll be expecting some applauses around the house. If you can do that, please. Well, I think this calls for a special photo op. Would request dignitaries on stage if we could all stand together for a group photo. I think the press would like that. Well, thank you so much. I think it's time we move forward. Well, as I can see everyone settling down now, if you're done with your cameras, I would request all the members of press who are present here, something was absent when we were lighting the ceremonial lamp. That was a round full of applause around the room. Can we do that, please, for Apollo? Thank you so much. And now, I would like to invite Mr. Rana Das Gupta, CEO, Eastern Region Apollo Hospitals Group, to deliver the opening remarks.
Namaskar and good afternoon to all of you. I'd like to thank all of you for taking out time to come here for this occasion. This is a great occasion. This is the first time that we are launching, I think first time in India, that we are launching a 5G ambulance. It is a 5G connected ambulance where when a patient, as soon as the patient comes into the ambulance, when it gets into the ambulance, the treatment starts from there. We have monitors in the ambulance, and we have a software that connects us to the main emergency of our hospital, where doctors are there, and they can monitor the patient from the emergency itself and instruct the doctor who's there in the ambulance to carry out whatever is required. And we can save the lives of many critical patients. So this is the first time in India that it is being launched, and launched in Calcutta. So it's a great occasion. We have Dr. Hariprasad sir who will speak on this, and we have our emergency medicine Dr. Arijit Bose and our DMS. They will explain it further to you. Thank you once again.
Well, thank you so much. And now we have a very special audio-visual on the 5G connected ambulance, requesting everyone to fix their glance on the big screen, please.
নমস্কার অ্যাপল ইমার্জেন্সি তাপস স্পিকিং হাউ মে আই হেল্প ইউ নমস্কার ম্যাডাম হ্যাঁ বলুন আমি কিভাবে আপনাকে হেল্প করতে পারি আচ্ছা অ্যাম্বুলেন্স
Emergencies call for the highest level of alertness, precision and efficiency. To ensure these, Apollo Multispecialty Hospitals is introducing its state-of-the-art 5G connected ambulance. India's first ever comprehensively designed 5G ambulance comes with the latest medical equipment, patient monitoring applications and telemetry devices that transmit data regarding the patient's status to the hospital in real time. Onboard cameras along with body cams attached to paramedics relay instant information to a tele-emergency hub. This allows doctors to make faster and more accurate decisions while the patient is in transit, and advise those in the ambulance on how to best administer the required aid.
Any history of heart failure?
No sir, no prior history.
Okay. So looking at the vital signs, he is not tachycardic, he is not hypoxic, and he is not tachycardic also. When you auscultate him, how is the chest?
Sir, chest there is left side decreased air entry with crepitations associated with left side compared to right side. And heart sounds clear sir, no added sounds.
We're keeping the vital signs.
Long transit in ambulances has proven to increase mortality. But with the 5G connected ambulance, treatment begins while the patient is on their way to the hospital. Real-time data, including the patient's vitals and their movements, are supplied to the emergency room for optimal preparation to receive the patient. This significantly improves the nature of patient assessments and increases the chances of life-saving interventions.
Apollo Hospitals has always strived to provide access to the community. Apollo 5G connected ambulances use the advances in technology to provide immediate access to the seriously ill and injured. It enables advanced care from the spot where the patient is through the journey to the hospital and in the emergency room of the hospital. This is truly a path-breaking initiative and will be an important tool in saving precious lives.
Well, now, after this audiovisual, I would like to invite on the dais Dr. K. Hariprasad, the President, Hospital Division, Apollo Hospitals Group, to address the gathering, please.
Good afternoon, and thank you very much for being here on this hot Friday afternoon. I'm extremely happy and proud to be here today because way back in 1996, the journey of starting emergency medicine began, and I was extremely fortunate to be a part of it. Before that, ambulances were mainly used to carry dead bodies back from hospitals or to the mortuaries or to, they were not equipped, they were just swans. That's when we as a group, under the guidance of our chairman, Dr. Reddy, said we will start emergency medicine as a specialty in this country. And we did not have an ambulance manufacturer who could give us an ambulance which was fit enough to actually carry the seriously injured or the ill. So we actually sat with the fabricator and designed the ambulance and created the first ambulance which was capable of handling a seriously ill or injured patient. Then we realized that we did not have the people to be in the ambulance because there is no training program for emergency paramedics at that point of time. So we as doctors got into the ambulances and actually started shifting patients, and that's how the entire journey began. And why is this important? In emergency, either for the seriously injured or critically ill patient, the first hour is known as the golden hour. The reason being, the quality of care that is provided during the golden hour very often makes the difference between life and death. And as you would all imagine, majority of accidents and emergencies, almost all of them, happen outside a hospital setting. They don't happen in hospitals. And a significant part, or almost the entire time of the golden hour, is lost in patient actually being brought to a hospital. If the patient is brought to the hospital during the golden hour, the options of getting the patient back to normal are significantly higher. I'll give you an example. If a patient has a stroke and reaches the hospital in time, during the window period for stroke, then the hospital, whether it is with a radiological intervention or with medicines, is able to lyse the clot which is causing that stroke, and very soon the patient is back to normal. If they don't reach within that window period, the clot buster therapy is not possible, so the patient has some remnant amount of paralysis or some disability for the rest of his or her life. Similar is the case of a heart attack. Similar is the case of a patient who's had an accident and is bleeding. Or similar is a patient, a scenario for a patient who's had an accident and has a head injury. So significant part of the golden hour is spent outside the hospital, and that is really impacting the outcomes of these patients when they fall seriously ill or injured. So we initially started this ambulance service with what was available at that point of time. We started training paramedics, and we were the first hospital group to get a 4-digit number for easy remembrance during an emergency. That's the 1066. And I think we continue to be the only private hospital group to have this number across the country for emergencies. Now, as things improved, we need to understand the technological improvement, the human resource improvement. Today we are in a position to actually begin the treatment at the spot where the patient is. And a combination of factors have led to this. One is significantly improved connectivity with the 5G technology. That's the first thing which has helped us do this. The second thing which has helped us do this is what, in your words, is the telemedicine. We've been doing telemedicine for many years, where from point to point a patient could talk to a doctor. But today we are using the telemedicine technology in an enhanced manner, where the patient at the site, in the ambulance, through the journey to the emergency of the hospital, is actually having a emergency physician treating the patient all through. So what has happened suddenly is, with the use of technology and combining the connectivity of 5G with the technology of telemedicine, e-ICU, e-emergency, and the skill of the emergency physicians, we are suddenly able to transform the golden hour into a really useful, purposeful, and beneficial time for the critically ill and the injured. I think this is a significant development, and I travel the world, and I can vouch that most of the world does not have access to this sort of a emergency system. And I'm very glad that Calcutta is launching it for the first time in this country, and it's only going to be a beginning where many others would come up. Like when we started the ambulance system, then the government took it over and started the 108 system across the country. Similarly, we are hoping that once we launch this, many others would take this up, and millions of people who would have otherwise suffered during the golden hour would be. The important thing to remember here is, it's not about the technology, it's not about the connectivity, it is about the patient. We are able to make a huge difference to a patient who's critically injured at home, at work, wherever, on the road, wherever, or has a heart attack in the house in the middle of the night, or has a stroke at the workplace while he's still working. We are able to make a huge difference for that patient. I think that's what the message needs to go to the common man, and to make sure that it is used to the maximum. I'm extremely happy to tell you all, and also announce, that these services would be free of cost within the city limits of Calcutta. That means anybody, irrespective of what their capability of payment or no payment, can access quality emergency services in the city of Calcutta free of cost. What we would be charging for is only because the treatment starts from where the patient is. If any drugs or disposables are used, only that cost will be recovered from the patient, but the actual service would not be recovered from the patients. The hospital is providing the technology. Doctors in the hospital are providing free consultation or free guidance during the entire journey. So Calcutta is probably the first city in the country to have access to this sort of a service at no cost, which I believe is a big thing in bridging the gap between a critically injured patient and quality emergency care. So I would like to request you to carry this message across to the common man in a big way, because one of the common problems we see is awareness in an emergency. People tend to take it, if somebody is having chest pain, they think it is a gastritis and wait for it to settle down. In the meanwhile, precious time is lost while the heart is getting injured. Similarly in a stroke, similarly in an accident. When there is any symptom of an emergency, impeding emergency, please access emergency services and seek help immediately. That actually not only saves the life, but gets you back to normal at the earliest. So thank you very much for being here, and this is just the beginning, and we will ensure that more ambulances are available in this city, and we actually take it across all our locations across the country wherever we are present. Thank you very much.
Well, and now I would like to invite Dr. Surinder Singh Bhatia, Director, Medical Services Apollo Multispecialty Hospitals, Kolkata, to share his insights.
Respected Dr. Hari Prasad, the CEO, ladies and gentlemen of the audience and the press at Calcutta, I welcome you all here, and I think it is a very momentous occasion for all of us. The very fact that Dr. Hari Prasad, President Apollo Group, is here with us, it indicates the importance of this launch today. Maybe a small step of Apollo will be a giant leap for healthcare in the future. So we welcome you all here. All I would like to add to what has already been stated is that this small jump that we have taken is based on a huge technological advance of the 5th generation of communications, which we as a Apollo Hospital Group, as our group, we are committed to bringing excellence in healthcare, healthcare of international standards to the people at their doorstep, which is the mission for Apollo Hospital under the tutelage of Dr. Pratap Reddy, our chairman. We also have our vision to touch 1 billion lives. I think we have the opportunity with an ambulance service of this nature, which I would acknowledge that this ambulance service and the emergency medicine.
Can we do that? Can we please carry around the microphone?
Hello, doctor. This is Sweetie from Indian Express. I was just interested to know how cost effective it is going to be for the patient party.
I think nothing is more precious than the life. So that is the reason we just announced that it is free. There's no question of being cost effective, but it's free within the city limits of Calcutta.
Okay. Thank you.
Myself, Vishwajit Das from Bartaman newspaper, sir. I have 3-4 basic questions. One is this ambulance, I think it will be the expandable Apollo Clinicals Hospital. You are treating this like this. The patient will be treated as a Apollo Hospital patient. And after going to the emergency from his home, he will be treated, and if there is a discharge after treatment, he will just have to pay the drugs and consumable cost. Just this, nothing else. First one is
No,
this.
you got me wrong. The thing is very simple. There are 2 phases in an emergency. One is the phase where there is a life and death situation from which the patient needs to be stabilized. That's the first stage. After that comes the stage of definitive treatment, right?
Yes,
There are
sir.
2 distinct stages. Now what we are announcing today is the first part of it, where the patient is in a life and death situation outside a hospital, and needs to reach the hospital at the earliest, cannot waste time in reaching the hospital. So what we are able to do is to take the hospital to the patient wherever he or she is, right? Now during the process of picking up, transport, and reaching the emergency room, that is the phase of stabilization. That component is free of cost, right? Only the drugs and disposables which are used in this process will be payable by the patient. Now, once the stabilization is done, it is up to the patient to get treated at any hospital he or she likes,
Great, sir.
right?
Great. One thing is that the second one is, sir, how many ambulance you are planning for Pan-India?
Pan-India, we're planning for more than 200 ambulances with the 5G network, and within the next 6 months.
And what is the cost of the ambulance, sir? Because it is well equipped, I think.
See, the ambulance is a regular ambulance. In addition to that, the cost will be about 20 to 25 lakhs to make it a emergency room in the ambulance. Literally making an emergency room in the ambulance, and this is mainly for the medical equipment and for the connectivity.
Sir, two more questions beside ambulance. Because you came here. What are your plan for the West Bengal healthcare system? Because I think your main competitor after second and third position is Manipal Group and Narayana Health Group, and they have more hospitals. If the merger is completed, they will have the more hospitals than the Apollo Clinicals Group. You are coming one medical college, and there is Apollo Clinicals Hospital. What are your plan for the West Bengal people?
First thing is, it's not Apollo Clinicals Hospital, it's Apollo Multispecialty
Sorry.
Hospital.
Yes, sir.
Second thing is, I think the people of West Bengal have a great relationship with Apollo hospitals. Even before Apollo came into Calcutta, they were always using Chennai Hospital. Even till today, 25 to 30% of the patients are actually from this part of the world, in Chennai. So the affinity and the bond between the people of West Bengal and Apollo is extremely high and thick. Now, we don't believe there is competition in healthcare. The simple reason is the need is so much more. There's a huge need. But what we believe in is, wherever we go, we need to be able to deliver to the expectations of the people. And the people have now come to a stage where you put an Apollo board, there's a certain expectation of a person walking into the hospital. So what we are now in the process of doing is expanding our footprint in Calcutta, and with the mother brand, which is Apollo Hospitals Enterprises being a listed brand. I would not be able to give you specifics at this point of time, except to tell you that very soon you'll hear news of the expansion of our Apollo brand in Calcutta.
उसके लिए क्या एहतियात बरती जा रही है?
बिल्कुल, वेरी गुड क्वेश्चन. पहली चीज़ ये है कि हमारे इमरजेंसी रूम्स आर वर्ल्ड क्लास, स्टेट ऑफ द आर्ट, फुल्ली इक्विप्ड विद क्वालिफाइड पीपल. डॉक्टर अरिजीत बोस लीड्स द टीम हियर इन कैलकाटा, और वो यूके में ट्रेंड है, और अल्टीमेट, आई मीन, ही इज़ वेरी स्किल्ड एंड ही इज़ क्रिएटेड अ टीम अंडर हिम. एक चीज़ जो होता है, कंटिन्यूम ऑफ केयर इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट in a healthcare scenario. What happens here is, we have increased the number of people in the emergency room, and they will be taking care of both aspects. People who are in the emergency room, जो ambulance के अलावा आते हैं, और जो ambulance से आ रहे हैं भी. अब for example, एक patient को ambulance में लेके आ रहे हैं, तो एक doctor वो patient के साथ रह जाएगा, और patient जब तक hospital पहुंचेंगे, ये डॉक्टर को पेशेंट के बारे में पूरी जानकारी रहेगी. तो उनका कंटिन्यूम ऑफ केयर इजी रहेगा, और इंस्टेंट केयर मिलेगा एक जैसे ही इमरजेंसी रूम को आएगा. अगर सेपरेट टीम लगाएंगे हम, कभी कभी इमरजेंसी कॉल आएगा, बाकी टाइम काम नहीं रहेगा, या इमरजेंसी रूम बिजी रहेंगे और ये इधर बैठे रहेंगे. इसलिए इमरजेंसी रूम में स्टाफ को बढ़ा के ये काम भी साइमल्टेनियसली करे जैसा करे, और दैट इज़ द ऑप्टिमल वे ऑफ डूइंग इट.
तो इमरजेंसी जो सेक्शन है उसके लिए क्या मतलब बेड भी इंक्रीज किया जा रहा है क्या? मतलब क्योंकि इमरजेंसी सेक्शन में ऐसा देखा गया है कि बेड बहुत सीमित होते हैं. मतलब
ना, एक चीज़ है, मेडिकल साइंस में एक चीज़ बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट है, इम्पॉर्टेंट पैरामीटर ऑफ क्वालिटी ऑफ केयर. जितना कम टाइम इमरजेंसी में रहे, उतना अच्छा है पेशेंट के लिए. क्योंकि फॉर एग्जाम्पल हार्ट अटैक आया, पहले कुछ मेडिसिन देते थे, अभी क्या कर रहे हैं, प्राइमरी एंजियोप्लास्टी बोल के कर रहे हैं. प्राइमरीली पहले कैथ लैब को लेके जाके जो भी ब्लॉक है निकाल के स्टेंट इमीडिएटली डाल दे रहे हैं. तो ये डोर टू नीडल टाइम बोल के हम लोग मेजर करते हैं, जितना कम है उतना अच्छा है. तो अगर अच्छा हॉस्पिटल में इमरजेंसी रूम है, उसमें बेड्स का ज़्यादा ज़रूरत नहीं रहना चाहिए, क्योंकि फ्लो कंटिन्यूस रहेगा, और जो प्राइमरी एंजियोप्लास्टी को जाएगा पेशेंट, इमरजेंसी में आधा घंटा 1 घंटे से ज़्यादा नहीं रहेगा, क्योंकि ऑब्वियस रश रहेगा कि उनको कैथ लैब में पहुंच के जितना जल्दी हुआ उतना जल्दी प्राइमरी एंजियोप्लास्टी करें. तो बेड्स से कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगा, एक्सेस तो डेफिनेटली बढ़ेगा. और एक चीज़ भी हो सकता है, क्योंकि डॉक्टर जो इमरजेंसी में बैठे हुए हैं, एम्बुलेंस से आ रहे हैं, वो पेशेंट के बारे में पूरा मालूम है. अगर आते ही अक्यूट हार्ट अटैक है समझिए, इमरजेंसी का बेड भी नहीं चाहिए, सीधा एम्बुलेंस से कैथ लैब में जाके एंजियोप्लास्टी हो सकता है. तो वैसा इमरजेंसी रूम में टाइम भी सेव हो जाएगा. एक्सीडेंट केस भी सेम थिंग. मेजॉरिटी ऑफ द केसेस में डेथ्स जो होते हैं एक्सीडेंट्स में, या प्रॉब्लम जो होता है वो ब्लीडिंग के वजह से होता है. और 99% ऑफ द टाइम्स एक्सटर्नल ब्लीडिंग होता है, हाथ टूट के. अंदर इंटरनल ब्लीडिंग दूसरा होता है, मगर एक्सटर्नल ब्लीडिंग तो क्योंकि एम्बुलेंस कनेक्टेड है, सब आई मीन मेडिकल यूटिलिटीज एम्बुलेंस में हॉस्पिटल पहुंचने से पहले ही वो ब्लीडिंग कंट्रोल हो जाता है. जो इंटरनल ब्लीडिंग है उसके लिए स्कैन विन करना पड़ता है, तो रेडियोलॉजी को चले जाते हैं. द एडवांटेज क्या है, मतलब पेशेंट इमरजेंसी में आने के बाद उनको एग्जामिन करके क्या हो रहा मालूम करके फिर स्कैन को भेजने से अच्छा, पेशेंट आने से पहले ही मालूम पड़ जाता है कि ये पेशेंट को ये ज़रूरत है, तो पेशेंट सीधा उधर से वो जो भी स्कैन या कैथ लैब या ऑपरेशन थिएटर जहाँ जाना है सीधा चले जा सकते हैं.
Good afternoon, sir. So I know the AV and what you just said gave us a glimpse of what can be done in the ambulance. But just for the specifics, could you tell us what is the processes or the treatment protocols that can be conducted within the ambulance that weren't available in the earlier ambulances that you have?
Yeah. See, the first thing is, in an emergency we call ABC, or now it's become BAC. A is airway. A lot of people die because the airway is not patent and patient is not able to breathe. B is breathing, the ability of the patient to breathe. C is circulation, for the heart to pump blood. Now, ABC can be done by a basic life support ambulance, by advanced life support ambulance, but the outcomes are different because the standard of ABC done in a resuscitation done in a basic life support ambulance is lower. What is done in advanced life support ambulance is higher. Now this is at the next level. The reason being, it is got all the equipment that the emergency room has. So whatever can be done in the emergency room of the hospital can be done in the ambulance. And second and most importantly is, these people in the ambulance are actually guided by the emergency physician in the senior emergency physician in the emergency room. So you are actually able to take quality emergency room care to the doorstep of the patient and through the journey. So this is the next level of care.
Could someone please pass on the microphone?
So when Apollo is starting new things, there is a huge expectations. The new ambulance, extending his question, is there any specific procedure, just like that you told a lot about the stenting, the thrombolysis procedure, because the golden hour is needed. And while traveling from Kolkata, from South Kolkata to East Kolkata, or the farther Kolkata to your hospital, if a patient needs PTCA or thrombolysis, is it be possible in your ambulance?
See, you cannot do a PTCA in the ambulance because you do not have a cath lab.
Yes.
Right?
The angiogram?
Angiogram also cannot be done because it's done in the same cath lab.
Same.
But what can definitely be done is, if the patient has got a confirmed MI, then thrombolysis can be done in the ambulance. So that actually saves the heart by the time the patient reaches the hospital.
Same for the stroke.
Same for the stroke also. So that is the reason we are able to do that is, the people in the ambulance are qualified people who are licensed to do this and are being guided by senior people within the hospital. So that actually enhances our ability to do more for the patient even during the transport than otherwise.
Sir, beside ambulance, just I'm taking opportunity to give you more two questions, sir. one thing in the extended portion of my previous questions, do you have more patients 5 years back than now to Chennai Apollo from Kolkata to Chennai?
See, what happened was when we started our hospital in Calcutta, we in partnership at that point of time, the thought process was the number of patients from Calcutta will come down. And I don't know how many of you remember, when we joined this hospital here, there were hardly 30-40 patients in the hospital. Today, we have 700 odd patients in this hospital, right, Rana?
On an average, sir, around 600.
Around 600 in this hospital.
About 85% of
about those 30-40 patients have gone to 600-700 patients here. But the number of patients who are coming to Chennai has remained the same. But the difference is they are coming for care which is not available here. For example, proton therapy. I'm just giving you an example. Proton therapy is not available anywhere in the country. It's only available in Chennai. So they travel for that. Or they travel for a particular doctor who has treated them in the past.
I'm talking about also, sir, non-Apollo patients. That means the going through to your hospital, towards your hospital.
One thing is for sure. The quality of healthcare, I'm not talking about Apollo alone, quality of healthcare in Calcutta has increased significantly since the day we came in here. So the number of people traveling out of Calcutta for healthcare has definitely come down. And the number of people traveling into Calcutta from outside West Bengal or international destinations has actually increased.
Sir, the second question is, you were the head of 73 hospital of Apollo Group. You are seeing all the things in the healthcare industry. You also saw seeing the Ayushman Bharat scheme. You also see in the eastern part of this place, the Swasthya Sati. In your opinion, how do you compare these two? Do you put Ayushman Bharat greater than Swasthya Sati or the reverse? Or the Swasthya Sati greater than Ayushman Bharat?
It is like asking whether your right eye is better than your left eye or left eye is more important than your right eye. The reason I'll tell you the reason. Both the schemes are aimed at improving financial access to quality healthcare.
Yes, sir.
Right? And this, I think, is the most important need for the country as a whole. The only way we can provide health for all is through universal health insurance. That is very, very straightforward. What both are doing is, the creamy layer of the population is expected to pay its own insurance premium, or if they don't, they have the money to go to a hospital and pay out of their pocket. But those who cannot afford, the insurance premium are being paid by the governments, whether it's the state government or the union government, that doesn't make a difference. And they are enhancing access to quality care. Now this is going to be the future, and it will only improve. As days go by, it will only improve because of two reasons. Any new scheme which comes in, or any new thing that happens, there are multiple stakeholders involved in delivery of that scheme. So it takes a little while for all the stakeholders in that scheme to be aligned and to see a win-win situation for everybody. So we are currently now in the process of the schemes being settled down, whether it is Ayushman Bharat or the West Bengal thing. Both of them are great things for the country, and I think they are paving the future for a universal health scheme across the country, which will be the most important thing that people of this country would benefit from.
If we talk about the package rate, and if we talk about the bill payment?
See, again, that is exactly what I told you. There are multiple stakeholders in this, and it has to be a win-win situation for everybody. On day one of creating a scheme, you cannot create a win-win situation for everybody. Right now, that process is happening, and once that, it takes a while. It's not going to happen overnight. Once that happens, then all these questions will be automatically answered.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sir, if anybody want to get only your ambulance service and want to go another hospital, is it possible?
It is not good for the patient. It's possible, but we put the patient first and look at the patient. Here the benefit the patient is getting is the continuity of care. The doctor is sitting in an Apollo hospital emergency room and guiding treatment, and it is very important that the continuity of care is there in that life-saving situation. And now if it is cut in between, then the entire chain of events is broken, and the biggest person to suffer would be the patient first. So as I said when I was talking, this is only the beginning, and it will be very quickly other hospitals also will come up, and this will become a norm in the next 2-3 years. All the ambulances will have the same thing.
Good afternoon, Dr. Prasad. I work for the Telegraph newspaper. I'm Shubhoja. Just adding to what Bishwajit was asking, lot of hospitals, private hospitals in Calcutta, they have got new investors, so they are in mode of expansion. So you said, if you just elaborate a little bit about what are Apollo's plans, are you happy with what you have right now, your expansion plans? Are you planning to add beds in the hospital? Any acquisition? And what happened to the medical college in Batanagar? How far has the progress been, and when are you planning to open it?
So the answer is very straight. We have an occupancy of 80% in the hospital now, right? When we talk about occupancy, it is a midnight occupancy. That is at the lowest time. And usually during the daytime, it is more than 100%, right? So there is definitely a need for expansion of Apollo hospitals in Calcutta. And as I told you, due to certain regulations, we cannot announce the specifics at this point of time, but very soon you will hear the specific expansion plans of Calcutta once we announce it, once the board approves it and we are able to announce it.
And what about the medical college?
Even that you will hear very soon.
सर मेरा एक सवाल, अपोलो को हमारा फैमिली जीवन का वरदान मानते हैं, जो मैंने अपनी साक्षात अपनी ज़िंदगी में देखा है कि सारे हॉस्पिटल से ट्रीटमेंट करा करके हमने अपोलो के पास पहुंचा, मैंने बिल पे किया, सारी चीज़ें की, पर अभी की जो सुविधा 5G की एम्बुलेंस जो हम लोगों को देखने को मिल रहा है, इसकी क्या कनेक्टिविटी है? जो सेंट्रल कोलकाता में कितना एम्बुलेंस है, किस सिचुएशन में ये 5G एम्बुलेंस फ्री में काम करेगी सर?
पहली चीज़, ये एम्बुलेंस इमरजेंसी के लिए ही फ्री में काम करेगी. इफ इट इज नॉट एन इमरजेंसी,
इसमें क्या बर्न आएगा सर? बर्न, अगर बॉडी जल गया है तो बर्न
प्रॉब्लम इज बर्न्स नहीं आएगा क्योंकि हॉस्पिटल में बर्न्स वार्ड नहीं है, राइट? जब हॉस्पिटल में बर्न्स वार्ड नहीं है, ये पूरा करना मतलब ही नहीं होता है, तो बर्न्स नहीं आएगा. बट इट इज ओनली मेंट फॉर इमरजेंसीज एंड एनी इमरजेंसी. एंड इमरजेंसी इज अ सिचुएशन विच टेक्स्ट आपके हिसाब से डिस्क्राइब करने तो any situation which is immediately life-threatening or could lead to a life-threatening situation within a short period of time. So it is only for emergencies that this should be used, and I really hope people do not misuse it for reaching for a regular condition to reach the hospital.
साथ साथी कार्ड और आयुष्मान जो है, इसमें कितने प्रतिशत का इसमें छूट मिलेगा सर?
ये फ्री है, बता रहा हूँ ना मैं आपको, छूट मिलने का जरूरत ही नहीं है.
पूरा फ्री?
हाँ.
कितना अमाउंट तक उसमें कुछ?
ट्विन सिटीज में, ट्विन सिटीज में बोल रहा हूँ, कलकत्ता सिटी में एम्बुलेंस सर्विस फ्री है 5G का.
कितने एम्बुलेंस की व्यवस्था की गई है सर?
अभी तो एक ऐसा है, एक छोटी चीज़ नहीं होती, आपको जब देखेंगे मालूम पड़ेगा. एम्बुलेंस एक होता है, मेडिकल इक्विपमेंट होता है, कनेक्टिविटी इक्विपमेंट होता है. एम्बुलेंस में ही नहीं, हॉस्पिटल में भी होना पड़ेगा पैरेलली, और ये पूरे चीज़ इंटीग्रेट होके काम करने पड़ेगा. और उस जो सॉफ्टवेयर जो इंटीग्रेशन का है वो सीधा काम करना पड़ेगा. तो ये पूरा, और वी आर डीलिंग विद अ लाइफ एंड डेथ सिचुएशन वेयर वी कैन नॉट टेक अ चांस कि ये काम करेगा नहीं करेगा. इसलिए ये पहले एम्बुलेंस को लास्ट 1 month से कंटिन्यूसली वी बीन ट्राइंग इट एंड वी बीन 100% श्योर दैट इट वर्क्स. So we are launching the first one. The other 2 are now undergoing fitment, and in the near future, as I said, across the country we will launch more than 200 ambulances.
Thank you sir, thank you.
I think yes.
नमस्कार सर, मैं एन अर्जुन हूँ। एक चीज़ मैं जानना चाहता हूँ कि जो 5G कनेक्टिविटी है वो केवल कलकत्ता तक ही सीमित है। अगर कोई आदमी कलकत्ता उस राउंड से बाहर है और वो आपसे जुड़ना चाहता है, और उसके लिए आप क्या उस बॉर्डर तक जाने को तैयार हैं जहाँ तक वो अपना पेशेंट लेके आए? मतलब कोई आदमी चाहता है कि मैं अपने पेशेंट को इसकी सुविधा दूं और वो उस एरिया में 5G कनेक्टिविटी नहीं है, तो क्या आप उस बॉर्डर तक जाएंगे उसको लेने के लिए? एक सवाल।
बिल्कुल जाएंगे। द रीजन इज लाइफ इज मोर इम्पोर्टेंट देन 5G और 4G।
तो क्या ये 4G को कनेक्ट
मैं बताता हूँ। जैसा अपना फ़ोन है, जहाँ 4G अवेलेबल है 4G कनेक्ट होता है, जहाँ 5G अवेलेबल है 5G कनेक्ट होता है। जहाँ जो भी कुछ भी नहीं है तो भी दिस एम्बुलेंस इज मोर यूजफुल बिकॉज इट्स गॉट ऑल द लाइफ सेविंग इक्विपमेंट, इट्स गॉट ट्रेन पर्सनल इन दैट। द डिफरेंस इज 5G में जो स्पीड और जो वीडियो जो आता है वो 4G में कम स्पीड में आएगा, फिर भी आएगा। So we will be able to do these services even in 4G to an extent. The connectivity permits. But as far as the medical utility is concerned, even without the connectivity, I think this is a superior ambulance just because of the medical care that it can provide with the people in the ambulance and with the equipment that is there in the ambulance.
सर एक सवाल अगर आप कहें तो मैं नॉर्थ ईस्ट के ज़्यादातर हिस्सों में मैंने देखा है कि वो लोगों को चेन्नई जाना पड़ता है अपोलो। तो आप लोगों के क्या फ्यूचर में किस तरह के प्लान्स हैं नॉर्थ ईस्ट को लेकर के, क्योंकि जहाँ पे 8 स्टेट हैं और वहाँ पे जो मेडिकल फैसिलिटीज़ हैं अभी तो थोड़ी इंक्रीज़ हुई है, लेकिन आप लोगों के कोई प्लान है नॉर्थ ईस्ट के लोगों के लिए?
ऑलरेडी नॉर्थ ईस्ट में है ना, असम में, आई मीन गुवाहाटी में 2 हॉस्पिटल है।
गुवाहाटी में है जी।
गुवाहाटी में 2 हॉस्पिटल, एक नहीं 2
जी।
अब कलकत्ता से ज़्यादा हॉस्पिटल है गुवाहाटी में।
2 हैं सर जी।
और वी आर हैविंग plans to go further northeast. So still, as I said, being a listed company, I cannot talk about certain things which are not passed.
Question number 8 for you.
Okay, last question. Let him finish his last question. Mike then.
Yes, can we pass on the microphone to him?
Sir, some people say that the upcoming era of health industry or the healthcare industry, healthcare delivery system, what you can say, is for the mid-level budget hospitals. And Apollo always believe in the high-tech care and sort of it niche population hospitals or healthcare. How you seeing that? Because the other groups are going for all the budget healthcare, the bulk patient pool, and all the things, and Apollo always believe in the niche healthcare, high-tech, high-equipped instrument. How do you feel about that, sir?
Apollo feels one thing. An Indian patient should get the best that is available in the world. That is a very simple, straightforward thing. And wherever we start a hospital, we try our best to make sure that the technology or the skilled manpower is able to deliver that to the patient. There is no other consideration for us as far as starting hospitals is concerned. Now it is a perception which different people have different perceptions. We really cannot help it. But to give you a perspective, a bypass surgery in India, I'm not talking about Apollo only, in India, in an average hospital, in a general ward, will cost you $2,500 to $3,000. Same bypass surgery, you go to the neighboring Singapore, it costs you $25,000. You go to US, it costs you $200,000. So that is the cost differential for the same procedure, using the same technology, being done by doctors who are the same, and with better outcomes. So what we all need to work towards and support is a universal health insurance program, which will allow people to get the financial access to the best healthcare that's possible in the world. And that is what I spoke about when I spoke about the 2 schemes you mentioned. Thank you.
Well, if we don't have any more questions, which I'm very sure we don't, all thanks to you, sir. Well, I think we should all proceed towards the foyer to inaugurate the India's first comprehensive 5G connected ambulance. We could request dignitaries on stage if we could move forward to the foyer for the formal inauguration.
Actually, those who have a video, you can go inside and see him connect. Actually, you can see him, the patient connected to the emergency room and do it. Please go with the video. You can go one after the other. You can go
আরে কোথায় সামনে নিয়ে চলে গেছে পিছনে এলে দেখা যাচ্ছে না নাকি আরে মোবাইলটা সরাও না
হয়ে গেলে বলবেন আমরা পেছনে লাইন দিয়েছি
আপনাদের সকলের কাছে অনুরোধ, আমাদের এই অ্যাম্বুলেন্সটা এবং ভেতরে এই ডেমো পেশেন্ট কোথাও যাচ্ছে না, তো প্লিজ এভরিওয়ান উইল গেট देयर টার্ন।
सर एक बार इधर देखिए तो सर एक बार इधर देखिए
Well, I'm very sure this calls for a very special photo op. Front of the vehicle.
आकाश
One minute, sir. বন্ধুরা বাদিকে যাবো একটু
ওদিকে চাপ তাহলে ফেস পে
এসে গেছে
লেখাটা পুরোটা পাবি পুরো লেখাটা কিছু
এখানে বাইট করে দাও চলো सर यहाँ पे बैठ
request are really basically to please follow me this like sir আপনাদের একটু রিকোয়েস্ট আপনারা একটু জায়গা আমার এখানে thank you so much yes sir please আপনারা একটু পিছিয়ে যান এতক্ষণ জায়গা সময় পেলেন একটু ওনারা দাঁড়াবে ফুটো একটা হয়ে যাবে দাঁড়াতে দাও তারা রেডি হও কি তাহলে পুরো লোক আমি নতুন লাগে না না প্রস্তুত যুক্ত করে আছে আই নো দ্যাট আমি জানি
প্রোডাকশন পিছনে যাও
পিছনে হবে না ব্যাক করে
ঢুকিস নাই ব্যাক কর জায়গা দেন অনেক জায়গা রয়েছে কে তোকে টানছে
This side please. This Mr. Dasgupta.
এক্সেলেন্ট আর মোবাইলটা একটু নামাও না তোমার তো মন্দিরে জায়গা আছে একটু মোবাইলটা নামিয়ে দাও বাবা হ্যাঁ ঠিক আছে থ্যাংক ইউ
चलो जाओ before we do this can we have all the bites inside अच्छा okay wonderful कीजिए
আমি করছি দাও তুমি ছবি করো একটু দাঁড়াও
একটু নামাও सर इस 5G एम्बुलेंस सर्विस के बारे में बताइए किस तरीके से ये प्रयोग में लाया जाएगा
एम्बुलेंसेस इमरजेंसी में जो क्रिटिकली इंजर्ड रहते हैं उनका पहला जो टाइम फर्स्ट आवर गोल्डन आवर वो टाइम पे जो क्वालिटी ऑफ केयर मिलेगा उसके ऊपर उनका आउटकम डिपेंड करेगा इसलिए ट्राइंग टू इम्प्रूव द क्वालिटी ऑफ केयर दैट वी प्रोवाइड ड्यूरिंग द गोल्डन आवर and in the past we used to have equipment and we used to have advanced life support ambulances where people used to go and they used to provide advanced life support during the night. Now what we've done is we've put in additional equipment into the ambulance, connected the equipment and the people in the ambulance to the emergency room so that the personnel in the ambulance are able to provide life-saving care during the transport to the hospital under the guidance of a senior doctor who is emergency doctor sitting in the ambulance. So this actually brings down the wastage of time during the golden hour and will help in saving a lot more lives in the days to come.
ये सेवा कब से शुरुआत की जाएगी?
अभी तो एक एम्बुलेंस पूरा टेस्टेड ट्रायल पूरा होकर अभी तो एक एम्बुलेंस चालू है कलकत्ता के लिए और 2 एम्बुलेंस इधर शुरू होंगे बट पैन इंडिया और 6 महीने के टाइम में 200
और ये सर्विस मुफ्त दी जाएंगी?
ये सर्विसेज कैलकाटा सिटी लिमिट्स में मुफ्त मिलेगा इमरजेंसी सिटी।
सर कितनी उम्मीदें रखते हैं इस सर्विस की शुरुआत के बाद?
हम समझते हैं हम जो भी करते हैं अपोलो ग्रुप में पेशेंट फर्स्ट बोलते हैं, तो पेशेंट के लिए बेनिफिट होगा वो जो भी करना चाहिए करेंगे। और ये और एक चीज़ है जो मैक्सिमम पेशेंट एक्सीडेंट और इमरजेंसी।
सर कुछ एक्सपेंशन प्लान के बारे में बताइए अपोलो का।
एक्सपेंशन प्लान कलकत्ता में है और मोर स्पेसिफिक प्लान कितना बेड ऐड कर रहे क्या कर रहे आने वाले दिनों में आपको मालूम।
थैंक यू सर।
टेक्नोलॉजी के बारे में जैसे बता रहे हैं, टेक्नोलॉजी के बारे में। हेलो हाँ पता है। थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू।
এইটা কার রে?
আর তো কিছু নেই।
এইটা কার?
वैसे लॉन्च
এটা আমরা যেটা বলেছি যে মানে ক্যালকাটা মানে কলকাতা সিটি লিমিটসের মধ্যে ইট উইল বি অফ কস্ট। অনলি থিং ইজ দ্যাট যদি ইফ দেয়ার এনি মেডিসিন আর কনজিউমেবলস যেটা যদি মানে ব্যবহার হয় দ্যাট উইল বি চার্জ, আদারওয়াইজ 5G আমাদের মানে মোবাইলে যদি 5G না থাকে তাহলে 4G কাজ করে, মানে মেবি ইট উইল বিকাম স্লো, বাট 5G এখন অনেক জায়গায় আছে। আর যদি 5G না থাকে 4G যদি থাকে আমরা ইমিডিয়েট না না আরও আসবে আমাদের আরও দুটো প্ল্যান আছে।
ডকুমেন্ট হিসেবে নিয়ে নিন। সব কিছু নেই।
লাঞ্চের ওখানে একটু ঘুরে গিয়ে
কোথায়?
ওই যে ওখানে পাশের ঘরটাতে
দূর ও লাঞ্চে সমিত দা লাঞ্চের ওখানে যেতে হবে না ক্যামেরা
জিজ্ঞাসা করো ওই সুশান্ত দা বলছে
হারাম